You talked a lot about getting into the text of the Bible. Someone asked, should I read it in sequence, or should I just open it up, read any chapter at a time? How do you do that?
I think that's a great question, and it's helpful probably to think about how the Bible was originally written. So a gospel was written as a whole. So to begin at the beginning and to read it through is a really powerful thing. And it doesn't take as long as you would think. You could probably read a gospel in about 2.5 hours if you read regularly. My husband and I used to live in the inner city in London. We were involved in a church in London's most notorious neighbourhood for gun crime and gangs. And we did a lot of work with young people coming out of gangs. And I'll never forget a 13-year-old girl who had not been in school for 2 years. She already had a youth conviction for what's called GBH in Britain, grievous bodily harm, so serious violence against another person. And one of our youth workers was talking to her and felt sort of compelled to give her a gospel and gave her Mark's gospel. And this youth worker was telling me about it that evening, and I was thinking to myself, well, I'm sure that's not going to work. I mean, that kid hasn't been in school for 2 years and does not read for fun. I'm sure that's not going to be the approach with her. But the next day, she came onto the church site and shared that she'd begun to read Mark's gospel at the beginning, and she'd been unable to put it down. And she just found herself compelled and drawn to the person of Jesus as he'd walked off the pages of Scripture into her life. And she was fundamentally, dramatically transformed by that experience. And I've known university lecturers and company CEOs have a similar experience. So why not try reading a gospel in its entirety rather than just picking little pieces out randomly?